Now at noon, a return to normal. A business is reopening after a scary scene last weekend.
When I looked up, the bullets was already coming. Shot through the barn, went through the TV.
A community prayer vigil held ahead of this morning's reopening at Sister Soul Food. Plus,
I have no car. I have 4 kids. I have a job I have to go to by 11 o'clock in the morning.
how one organization is helping dozens of families who lost their home when a car slammed into a local hotel.
Streaming on clickorlando.com and broadcasting live. You're watching News 6 at noon.
Thank you so much for joining us this noon. I'm Julie Broughton. A reopening today for Sister Soul Food in Orlando's Paramore neighborhood. Over the weekend, a shooting involving 4 teens shut down the restaurant. One of those teens had life-threatening injuries. Today, community and restaurant leaders held a prayer vigil ahead of the reopening. Your Orange County community correspondent Jana Manahala was there for both and joins us live now. And Jana, people absolutely love this restaurant.
That's right, Julie. Look at this line that is outside of this restaurant. This line has been outside the restaurant since that prayer vigil this morning at about 10:30, 11 o'clock. And I think the reason why this is so important, we have to emphasize this place is a place of family, faith, and community. I mean, when this happened, it was absolutely tragic. It involved, like you said, those 4 teenagers. And the windows, there were 3 windows that were damaged during that shooting. And since then, those windows have been repaired. They also had the TV that was also damaged during the shooting. And let me tell you, the song you heard earlier, the sound from that woman, she had a bullet go through her bun during the shooting and hit the TV behind her. And I actually got the chance to catch up with her, and she, is doing great since then.
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Taking it one day by day. I finally got some sleep. I was tired.
I saw, how they were trying to recover it all after the incident, and they never one time thought about themselves. They thought about the gap that will be there if they didn't reopen. Even though they experienced such a horrific event, they thought about, we got to open these doors so people can eat.
Yeah, and former Commissioner Regina Hill said it best. People needed to eat. They're most well known for these $5 soul food bowls that feed the community here in Paramore. Now, when this happened, Orlando police had found those 4 teenagers here with all gunshot wounds. One had life-threatening injuries, as Julie had mentioned, and the security camera right up here was able to capture all of it. I have reached out to the Orlando Police Department for information on that boy and how he's doing, as well as to get a copy of that surveillance video. When we get a copy of that, we'll bring it to you here and on clickorlando.com. But for now, I'm live in Paramore. I'm your Orange County community correspondent, Jana Manahala, News 6.
Jana, thank you so much. Developing right now at noon, the Lake County Sheriff's Office is looking into a body found near the 429 and Sleepy Bear Lane. This is video we got of the scene earlier this morning. Investigators say they got the report around 7:15 and found the body in a grassy area. The 429 is open, but State Road 46 is closed between Cypress Mill and Sleepy Bear Lane, and this could impact bus routes even later today. Investigators say the school bus transportation office was told about the road closure. 12:03, let's get a check of your forecast. Chief Meteorologist Candace Campos is standing by, and Candace, really feeling nice out there right now.
Yeah, it's really feeling a bit warmer than yesterday at this point. Downtown Orlando Skycam still showing kind of a mix of sun and clouds. Brought to you by Light Orlando, delivering hope together already into the upper 70s. That's already about 4 or 5 degrees warmer than where we were yesterday at this time. Humidity is nice and low, but notice the breeze. Anytime we get a southerly breeze, that's really going to ramp up those temperatures. Elsewhere around Central Florida, we are all in those mid 70s, and we're going to continue to climb to the mid 80s today, but the heat is on. We're talking about nearing records Friday and Saturday. We'll be feeling more like early May than late February. But wait, there's more. We got winter right around the corner. We'll have more details on the weather whiplash in minutes.
Okay, Candace, we'll see you then. Thank you. Not competent to continue. That's what the lawyers of a man accused of killing 3 tourists are saying. Ahmad Boje refused to appear for his arraignment this morning. That was put on hold over those questions of his competency. Your Osceola County community correspondent Stephanie Rodriguez was there and tells us what's next.
Just over a month after investigators say he shot 3 men to death outside of a rental home here in Osceola County, Ahmaud Boje refused to come to his court date, and his legal team says he isn't fit to stand trial.
If he has a court date, he needs to be here.
What was supposed to be a hearing for Boje to enter a plea ended with the doctor being appointed to evaluate his competency. Boje is accused of shooting 3 tourists staying at an Airbnb on Indian Point Circle on January 17th. They were visitors from Ohio attending a local car show. Deputies arrested Boje, who lived in the home next to the rental. On Wednesday, his attorney requested a competency evaluation for the 29-year-old, as they have reason to believe he's not able to proceed. Because Boje didn't show up, the state requested he be brought into future court dates by any means necessary.
He did get up to eat, go to the bathroom. So he is capable of getting up. He is treating, as we have today, he is refusing to appear for court today.
But his attorney felt it would be harmful to him and insisted it be on a case-by-case basis, and the judge agreed.
At whatever point the court determines I have to have him in the courtroom and he's not compliant, then I will issue the necessary order.
In 2022, Boje stood trial for attempted murder, accused of shooting at a person and at random vehicles at a Kissimmee gas station. He was acquitted by reason of insanity and was barred from owning a gun. Those living in the community questioned whether this shooting was avoidable.
To think that, there was a school right behind us. And someone who had actually been, I don't understand, acquitted because they were insane and they're living in my neighborhood. How does the justice system let that happen?
The Osceola County Sheriff called Boje a threat to this neighborhood and said deputies had been to his home 41 times. Boje will have a competency status hearing in April. I'm your Osceola County community correspondent, Stephanie Rodriguez, News 6.
A man facing 50 counts of child porn possession is expected in front of a judge in the next hour. 70-year-old Glenn Ehlers was arrested yesterday. A search on the Barry Law School's webpage shows a professor with his name, but that page has since been taken down. The school did confirm a member of their faculty has been arrested and placed on leave, but did not confirm it was Ehlers. Ehlers is being held without bond and should face a judge, as we said, later today. Now at noon, dozens of people displaced in Volusia County last night. Investigators say a car slammed right into a historic hotel. It all happened at the 1876 Heritage Inn that's on 1792, not far from Blue Springs Avenue in Orange City. News 6's Mark Lehman was out at the hotel this morning and has more on what these people are dealing with.
More than 50 people rely on the units at this extended stay hotel. Some are families with children, and now all of them are left with a sense of uncertainty. Now, security is here on property and keeping people away from this building, but you can see the damage there from where the car slammed into the hotel. All of this forcing people inside to evacuate. We were here last night as the Red Cross responded to the 1876 Heritage Inn. Volunteers have been working to help more than 50 people displaced, including 11 children. This all happened after a driver slammed into the hotel yesterday afternoon. Water and electricity were cut off to the 36 units here, and there are questions about the hotel's foundation. And during all of this, the Red Cross opened an emergency shelter, but that facility is at a church in New Smyrna Beach, which is 28 miles away. One mother told us she appreciates the help, but staying at that shelter is unrealistic.
Our only option is an hour away to shelter. I have no car. I have 4 kids. I have a job I have to go to by 11 o'clock in the morning. And how am I supposed to do all that when I've based my life within these 2.5 miles? It works for us.
Christina Rowletson said she has no choice but to stay in the area, so she's unsure what she's going to do for the time being. And out here today, we are expecting crews to take a closer look at the damage to see what kind of repairs can be made and what that timetable looks like. Meanwhile, the Red Cross says they will be providing more information on the help they are offering to the people displaced here as it becomes available. Reporting in Orange City, Mark Lehman, News 6.
A man who says he wasn't even behind the wheel is set to be sentenced in a crash that killed 4 people today, 3 of them children. A jury found Richard Ferguson guilty of vehicular manslaughter. Investigators say he allowed his unlicensed teenage son to drive his car, leading to the deadly crash in Poinciana. Witnesses say Ferguson did not intervene when he saw the teens get into the car, but he denied those claims.
You never gave Richard permission to drive the car?
No, nor did I give him the keys.
Ferguson is set to be sentenced at 1:30 today, and he is facing up to 15 years behind bars. We'll track what happens, and we'll have the latest updates for you on News 6 starting at 3. A local high school says vaping has become a problem in bathrooms. Now it's taking action. Coming up, how the school is cracking down and the letter sent to parents. And later, toilet to tap water. Yep, it is just what it sounds like. The discussion Volusia County commissioners had about banning it and what leaders decided.
This portion of the news is sponsored by Florida Lottery.
A new push to crack down on students vaping is causing controversy at a Brevard County high school. Melbourne High says it has become such a problem that school leaders will be doing targeted restroom closures. The school sending this email to parents notifying them of the new policy, but some say it goes too far. News 6's Troy Campbell went to the school to find out more.
Don't punish the children that need to use the restroom. Go after the students that are bringing in the vapes.
Kimberly Serwin says her daughter is a senior at Melbourne High School and is now concerned her daughter doesn't have enough access to the school's restrooms.
So she's talked to me about it. She says it complicates things. She has to worry about how many passes she has in each class that she can use to use the restroom because there's not enough time in between classes.
Parents here at Melbourne High School say they received this email from the school's principal on Friday afternoon. In it notifies them of the restroom closures, and it says it's necessary in order to monitor student behavior due to concerns of vaping. In the email, school officials specifically cite students vaping inside the restrooms as the reason for the closures. It goes on to read, quote, "The closures will allow us to monitor our student restrooms more closely and reduce opportunities for misuse while ensuring that adequate facilities remain available for all students throughout the day."
The kids only have 5 minutes in between classes to get to class. It's a large campus, and then they have to worry about trying to find a bathroom in between.
And if you're wondering how much of a problem vaping is here at the high school, just walking across the street, it didn't take us long to find this vape discarded here in the grass.
It's already been a problem in the past that they've closed the bathrooms.
Serwin says parents received a similar email closing bathrooms back in March 2025. She wants a permanent solution.
I don't think that the kids that need to use the bathroom should be punished. I think they should go after the students that are vaping and find the vapes, because kids are going to vape anywhere.
In Melbourne, Troy Campbell, News 6.
Time now is 12:15, so of course time to get a check of this beautiful Wednesday forecast with Chief Meteorologist Candace Campos. So we have a taste of summer and a taste of winter all in one.
Because how else would you wrap up this year's winter season, right? All right, let's take a live look outside right now. Just such a nice afternoon. I wanted to show you because it really depends on where you're at. Right now, for instance, Port Canaveral, barely a cloud in sight, where over International Airport, Orlando International Airport right now, we are still seeing some of those little white puffy cumulus clouds, those fair weather clouds, really not producing any moisture. Same story there in Kissimmee, a little more overcast in Daytona Beach. But one thing is for sure, it is a warm afternoon already. We're in those mid to upper 70s, expected to really ramp up those temperatures throughout the day. So we're going from flip-flops to frost. As Julie mentioned, it's going to be quite a weather whiplash over the next 5 to 6 days. So let me show you here. So we're going to be warming up. Temperatures, not only will they start to move into the 80s today, but they'll get into the upper 80s potentially by the end of the week. Could be flirting with some records, all before a new cold front comes through on Sunday. That looks to be technically the wettest day of the outlook, although it's not going to be a super wet day. We're still looking at a rain coverage about 40%. Now, once that front clears, there's a lot of cold air backing in on the backside of that system, which will allow temperatures to tumble into those 30s overnight. But now let's check on that hour-by-hour forecast for today.
Your forecast is sponsored by Strata Services.
All right, the heat is on. We're running about almost 10 degrees above average for this time of the year. There will be just enough of a sea breeze to keep you guys there along the coastline just a touch cooler, but further inland, the 80s will be area-wide. Now, what else will be area-wide later on tonight, early Thursday morning for your morning commute? Wanted to give you a heads up that we are looking at the possibility of some of that dense fog developing across our western zone, so we could possibly even have a dense fog advisory. I'll be here tomorrow morning pinpointing that, but I just wanted to give you a quick heads up that that could be something you'll be driving through tomorrow morning. But really, over the next couple of days, this is going to be the big story, how warm and dry it's going to be. It's still a moderate threat for fires out there just because of, one, how dry it is, and then when you start picking up that breeze and really cranking up that heat, it's just so easy to spark and spread fires around Central Florida. So make sure you have your eyes and making sure that everything is, not too concerning across the area when it comes to those brush fires. But no, rain is in the forecast on Sunday. That cooler air is going to ride in on the backside of that system. So I wanted to show you, will be the hottest day of the week. Saturday, nearing records in the upper 80s. And you can see how close to the records it will be. We're talking about Orlando, Sanford, Leesburg. Could easily be tying or breaking a record at that point. Then we fast forward to the coldest point of the week, and that comes Tuesday morning, where the majority of our inland locations could get down into those 30s. Could even be tracking widespread frost in the forecast early Tuesday morning. So, of course, something we're going to be watching is the fire danger. So make sure you're not throwing out those cigarette butts or parking on dry grass, because it really is going to be one of those things that we're really going to have to pay attention to, as the heat is really going to be the big story over the next several days.
Candace, thank you. Treated sewage into drinking water. That was what was up for discussion in Volusia County last night. Coming up, what commissioners decided and why people in the area aren't so sure it's a good idea. And coming up tonight on News 6.
We've all gotten those messages. Our bank suspects suspicious activity, and do we recognize the charge? A New Smyrna Beach couple got one of those messages, and even though they disputed the charge, it still went through, costing them nearly $1,000.
Do you feel like your money is protected? I don't at all.
I'm investigator Lewis Bold, and we're digging into how it happened tonight on News 6.
Toilet to tap water. It is exactly what it sounds like, turning treated sewage into drinkable water. Last night, Volusia County commissioners decided voters won't get a chance to vote on a ban this year. The toilet to tap idea comes from concerns over water shortages caused by new development and population growth. But people living in the county raised concerns about the safety of the initiative. There was a discussion to place a ban on the 2026 ballot, but that was voted down.
It shouldn't be allowed to happen. Development needs to keep up with what the land can sustain.
The county has no current plans to implement the technology. It would impact people in unincorporated areas. During last night's debates, commissioners mentioned several other local cities also taking up a ban. This is our topic for today's poll. We're asking, when it comes to toilet to tap, would you drink highly treated sewage water? Head to clickorlando.com and let us know what you think. The spring break travel period is almost here, and did you know that flying on a Tuesday could save you some money? A new report from Expedia says Tuesday is now the cheapest day to fly domestically. Fridays are cheapest for international travel. Expedia says Friday is also the best day to buy a ticket. And as far as what month is the best, Expedia says August is the cheapest for international travel. Check out our new primetime lineup on News 6 Plus. We have a new take on the day's news on News 6 tonight. That's at 9. Meteorologist Jonathan Kagas answers your weather questions at 9:30. Then watch the late news an hour earlier. It is all tonight on News 6 Plus. Download our streaming app for free. Search WKMG in your smart TV's app store. It's also available on Roku, Apple TV, and Fire TV. Here's a live look for you from our Launch Credit Union camera out at Port Canaveral, seeing so much sunshine on this Wednesday. You're watching News 6 at noon. We're back in 3 minutes.
All right, let's look at the crazy roller coaster we are going on. Can you tell it's almost spring? Because we are ramping up those temperatures, nearing record highs possibly on Friday and Saturday. And then we're dropping about 20 degrees between this weekend and early next week. Highs could be staying in the 60s Monday and Tuesday. Could be waking up into those 30s Tuesday morning. So again, we'll be going from flip-flops to sweaters before you know it. So make sure you have all the stuff, including some rain gear, though, even on Sunday.
The full wardrobe will come into play.
All
Thanks,
of it.
Candace.
Sure.
Thank you for joining us. Our next newscast is at 3, and you can always check clickorlando.com for updates. We hope you have a great day.